What's going on, Facebook? Jesse here, coming to you live from the front porch. I have a quick thought for you to think about, for you to dwell upon. So, you know how when you call someone on Do Not Disturb, when their phone's on Do Not Disturb mode, it goes right to voicemail and you have to leave a message. You don't get to, connect with them. It's kind of frustrating, especially if you really want to reach someone, they have their Do Not Disturb on. So maybe you'll send them a text, maybe you'll leave a voicemail. I actually have my Do Not Disturb on pretty much all day long. So if you try to call me and you're not on my favorites list, you're going to go to Do Not Disturb. But here's the thing. I just learned this recently, that if you call someone 2 times in a row when they're on Do Not Disturb, the first call is going to go to voicemail like normal. But if you try to call them again, the call will go through. It will bypass the Do Not Disturb and it will ring the full amount of time. I thought about that. How many times do we give up on God when we feel like God is on Do Not Disturb? Because sometimes we want to connect with God. We spend time praying to God. We open up the Bible, but it feels like the heavens are just shut. It feels like God's presence is locked. It feels like God's not really there. It feels like you're trying to call him, you're trying to connect with him, but it feels like God's on Do Not Disturb mode. It feels like God's just too busy or something's up. Like, where is he? You prayed, but you don't feel he's there, or you're not seeing a breakthrough, or not seeing an answer. I think all of us have gone through this where we draw near to God, but we don't feel that he's drawn near to us. Well, here's the thing. Keep calling. Don't give up. Just like on the Do Not Disturb mode, there is an exception that if you call twice, it's going to break through the Do Not Disturb mode. If you keep calling, it'll break through that Do Not Disturb system. In the same way, in the spiritual realm, when we want to connect to God and we feel like there's a wall, we feel like something's blocking our connection, that's not the time to give up and say, oh, I can't get a hold of God, he's too far away. That's the time to call him again and keep on calling. Sometimes it takes more than 2 calls. Sometimes it takes a long time of calling him before he shows up. And why does God do that? Why does God not just, come to our rescue right away sometimes? You see, the reason God sometimes waits is because he's trying to mature us. He's trying to teach us to be persistent. He's trying to teach us patience. He's trying to teach us diligence and persistence. If you read Luke 18, there's a parable called the parable of the persistent widow, and she keeps on coming to God even after getting denied. Even after the judge is basically saying, do not disturb me. He's on Do Not Disturb mode. You read that in Luke 18, you'll see what I'm talking about. But she keeps on coming, she breaks through, and God shows up. And the story, the parable Jesus tells in Luke 18 is a principle that's meant to show us how the spiritual realm works. And Jesus says, how much more will your heavenly Father give justice to those who cry to him day and night? Because the widow was crying out for justice to this judge who was denying her. And finally, the judge gave her justice because she kept persisting. And God says, if this unjust judge is going to give justice to someone because of their persistence, how much more does your heavenly Father want to give, want to answer his children who cry to him day and night? And so I just want to encourage you, don't give up when it feels like God's on Do Not Disturb, because God's really not on Do Not Disturb. He's not. He never slumbers or sleeps. He's always there. But God's challenging us and stretching our faith and saying, will you continue to seek me even when you don't feel me? Because we walk by faith and not by sight. We have to keep pushing even in the pain, even in the hardship. We got to keep pressing on into God. Don't give up, child of God. Don't give up when God feels distant, but continue to press through, because the breakthrough will come. God's not on Do Not Disturb, but keep calling. Matthew 7, ask and you will receive. Seek and you will find. Knock and it will be open. Keep on asking, keep on seeking, keep on knocking, and watch God work in your life. God bless.